Welcome back to BoardVision. I'm Peter Gleason with NACD. We are live on location at our Board Leadership Conference. I'm joined again by Mary Ann Cloyd from PWC's Center for Board Governance.
Peter, hi, nice to be back.
It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Mary Ann, we just got through with our session this morning on the Blue Ribbon Commission report for this year from NACD, which is on board diversity, moving from interest to action. The panel this morning was chaired by Barbara Hackman-Franklin, who chairs NACD's Board of Directors. We had Kurt Crawford, Carrie Dominguez, Saul Trujillo, and Bonnie Gwynn. Just a great panel, really dove into the topic. I know I've got some takeaways, but let's start with a few things you gathered.
It was, and you know, Peter, to echo, it was an absolutely outstanding panel. I thought the discussion was so rich, as is the report, and I would encourage all of the readership to actually read the report. But you know, some of the takeaways, you know, it starts with a little bit, and I think one of the panelists mentioned some of these discussions we've been having for 20 years or so, right, where there's not been an appreciable movement in diversity, and it's diversity in its broadest sense.
Right.
When you're talking about on boards. But I think one of the great things, and a lot of the discussion around the panel, were tangible actions that boards can be doing. Mm-hmm. And the discussion and the dialogue centered on things from the why. So the business case for diversity on a board to reflect your stakeholders, all of your stakeholders, your customers, your shareholders, to discussions around what can be done in terms of should you consider board tenure, whether it be age or term limits, to open up seats on the boards. And again, I think the approach was very healthy in that it was not one size is right for all boards. It was really just stepping back and looking at this reflectively with the board taking ownership for what it needs to do to enhance diversity. And I think, Peter, there was just a great example that was given by one of the panelists talking about comparing boards, or giving the example of the U.S. Olympic team. Mm-hmm. And her comment was that if you look at our Olympic team that was in the UK earlier this year, everybody looked different, or so you had a lot of diversity. And she said, you know, I like to you look at how our Olympic team looked, and you look at how they performed, which I think was taking home more medals than anyone. Right. And what a wonderful statement for what diversity can do to competitiveness. Right,
and I'm glad you bring up the competitive standpoint, because that's how we framed the whole report. This wasn't really about identity diversity. This is a global competitive issue, and boards really have to get on board in order to compete in today's environment. So, well, thanks again, Mary Ann. Great having you with us.
It's great to be here.
Great insights from you, great insights from the panel. Take a look at the report. It's well worth the read. And thanks for joining us on BoardVision.
Thank you.